Well, hello, my paranormal peeps. My name is Matt Harvey. I am the founder and lead investigator with Deep Woods Paranormal. I am also the host of the Deep Woods Paranormal podcast, along with my wife Amanda. She does her ghost stories every Wednesday. This is the Monday podcast. I'm sorry it's coming out on Friday. It's been a crazy week. Our schedules are just insane right now. Between setting up our production company, and doing podcasts and doing investigations and working our normal full-time jobs. Plus, we have five crazy dogs. We get a little swamped sometimes, so sometimes the podcasts don't always come out when they're supposed to. Okay, okay, guys. Sorry about the little bit of gap there. I had to stop for just a second. Anyways, so people are asking, what are you guys up to? What are you going to be investigating next? I know we've kind of said a lot about this, but we're going to be at the OP Pyle House here in next Saturday. We're going to be doing a live podcast either on Facebook. We might be doing it on multiple platforms, but we'll be on Facebook, probably YouTube, and also on TikTok. So if you're following us on any of these accounts, we'll be doing a live from the house. Essentially, what's going to happen is we're going to basically doing podcasts, interviewing people as they come out to tell us about their experiences. We're going to be documenting their experiences and writing stuff down, and then basically after they leave at 2, I think, in the morning, we have the house to ourselves for several hours. So I'm not exactly sure who all is going to stay with us and investigate, but we're going to it's definitely going to be Amanda and I, and I'm not sure how many other people. So this is coming up on this next Saturday, the 22nd. Maybe we'll see you there if you're here in Texas. Tickets are $50. We're not involved in that. We're just one of the guests going to this event. So let's talk about the OP Pyle House real quick. This is a very historical home that was built in the early 1900s, 1903 through 1904. The house was built by Owen Pinkley Pyle. He was the original owner of the house. Supposedly, there are double-digit spirits in the house. So I hear a lot of those are kids, and I hear that there's a lot of them outside. Basically there's a couple of kids that are seen with a nanny, and essentially they like to play tricks on people. So that said, I'm going to interrupt what I'm doing. I want to show you guys these things. If you're watching, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Let me see if I can hold it from the very bottom. Of course not. Okay, so this is just a little wind-up toy. Why is this not working? Oh, there it is. And it has a little key on the side here that you essentially this thing's not letting me show this. So essentially has a anyways, it's got a little wind-up toy. This is what they would have had back in the early days of toys, essentially. One thing we did find at a location that we have a lot of luck with is one of these. If I can get this to show up on camera. On camera. It's a dreidel. So hold it like this. It's cutting in and out. But it's just a wooden dreidel. I don't know if you can bear. There it goes. Now it's showing it. So it's just a dreidel. Essentially, you just basically drop it, you spin it and drop it. It rolls around until it comes to a stop. That was something that they used to use back in the day. And good old Raggedy Ann, if she'll stay in picture. We're going to be taking a Raggedy Ann doll because there's a couple little kids there. Probably put a K2 in front of her and maybe just leave her sitting. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We might just leave all this stuff sitting in one place where they have the most kid activity with a camera on it and just let it run. So we've got other things. We've got a lot of other props that we bring with us. We've got cigars, we got tobacco, we got alcohol. No, that's not for us. That's just for the spirits. We just bring little sample things of alcohol because people out here used to drink whiskey and all that kind of stuff. So, cigarettes, like I said, chewing tobacco, um, and it's just anything that we think that they would relate to and might be interested in. It's worked for us in the past, so we're going to be bringing that. So there's supposedly a Civil War soldier that also is on the property. There's a lot of spirits on this property, supposedly. His name is David Aiken, and he was actually one of the original owners as well. He didn't build the house, but he was an owner soon after the house was built. He seems to be protective of the house and of the people that live there. So, like I said, there's many kid spirits there, and their nanny. Supposedly, there's a spiritual vortex. So we'll walk around with a thermal and just see if we see anything. We have a full spectrum camera. We'll walk around with that too and see if that shows up on the camera. There's also said to be some negative haunts in the cottages, which are in the very back. There's two homes. There's a main house, and then there's a house in the back. And so essentially, um, the cottages supposedly are the most active. There's people just can't spend a whole night in there for some reason. I don't know what goes on in there, but we're gonna find out. All right, so um, a couple of the longtime owners were actually buried on the property, and then another owner is actually buried under the gazebo in the yard somewhere. And then, so get this: there's all kinds of old prisoners that were also buried on the ground. Supposedly, there's 600 unmarked graves on this property from um, they were prisoners and they were basically slave labor, free labor, whatever you want to call it. And they were building the railroads through the area, and they used this property to essentially just dump the bodies, which is terrible. They should at least have a plaque or something for them. So basically, that was back in the early 1800s, probably before the house was built. Maybe nothing else was there. There's J.H. Randall, known as Boz. And as you can see, if you're watching this podcast, it says Boz. There was Boz, he's back. And it says before the house, there was Boz, he's back. So essentially, they call him Boz or the Boz Man. And he's supposed to be, he appears on the property. I've not been able to find out much information. I've watched numerous videos on YouTube of people seeing activity, but they haven't gotten any names. They haven't gotten any other information. So I'm just curious to see what we pick up. So again, we'll be doing live podcasting from the house. We'll be interviewing witnesses and stuff like that to come tell their stories, which will be fun to hear their stories so we can get information. And then after that, we'll basically have the chance to investigate the whole house by ourselves, which will be really cool. All right. So let's switch to other news. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, where did we get started? For me, I started back, God, in 1990, 1989 ish. I was a young teenager and essentially lived in haunted homes or just had paranormal activity going on around me constantly. Um, most was human spirits, and then it turned to negative haunt. And again, that's where I met Amanda. She helped me with that, and then I turned the tables. And in I think 1993, 1992, no, sorry, 1995 is when I officially started researching the paranormal at other people's homes and locations like that. So Amanda and I, she's really cool. She's into the paranormal. and she's into ghost hunts and stuff like that. She's really into that. She's also had a lot of experiences. You can listen to her Wednesday night ghost stories that just got posted today. I apologize for the delay. Um, so you'll get the podcast, her podcast on Friday, this podcast on Saturday, and then Sunday we'll do the Bigfoot only, and then starting again Monday we'll switch back and get back on a normal schedule here. All right. So, like I was saying, where it all started basically was me being haunted, essentially, and having experiences that, to be honest with you, just terrified the hell out of me. And I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't have anybody to talk to about it. I couldn't talk to my parents. My mom is very heavily Catholic, and my dad is more of a non-believer. So even to this day, we chit chat about it a little bit, but he's just skeptical, which is fine. I mean, he should be. He's never seen anything, which honestly, I don't know if that's not a blessing. But yeah, one thing I would say that's what got me into it. And then essentially, I think I've talked about this before. Everybody said, asked me questions. What was your first case? In our first case, believe it or not, we didn't have a lot of gear. We had, I think, one night vision handy cam because they were super expensive back there. I think somebody in our group had one. We were just running around with basically regular video cameras, trying to document anything we had. We had a lot of audio recorders at that point. I think we had a couple of K2 meters as well, and some other gear, some other EMF detectors. And then we had, I think, 3 or 4 DVR cameras that plugged into an actual computer, a laptop. And so we basically just kind of stayed together and moved through the house. The reports were of, I don't even remember what the reports were anymore. It's been so long. It's been 20 plus years. Anyways, the reports were of just things happening in the house, and the homeowner was scared of it and wanted to know more about what was going on. We saw, I think a couple of people saw a full body apparition, and then I think I've talked to you guys about the wrench before. So we were in the garage, or they were in the garage, and I was in the other room, in the living room, trying to, I don't know what I was doing. I was doing something. I was trying to get an audio recorder going or something like that. And they come in and, Matt, the wrench out here on this hook is just swinging back and forth. I'm like, what? No. Okay. We were a TAPS family member team, by the way. So we tried to debunk everything. And that's what we did. We spent the first couple, 3 or 4 hours every investigation trying to figure out other reasons for the activity. What else could it be besides a ghost? So, especially with this case, we really wanted to do that to take the fear away from our client. And so I walk out, and I kid you not, this damn wrench. It's there's a nail on the side of a shelf, and it's sticking out about 6 inches from the wall. And there's just a regular wrench hanging on the end of it's just got the circle hook on the end of it, the circle, and it's hooked on to the nail, and it's literally swinging back and forth. So I sat there for about, I don't know, 30 seconds. I'm like, oh, you guys are just messing with me. And they're like, no, we're not messing with you. So like, I started laughing. I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop this. And I stopped it, and I held on to it for a second or two, and it was perfectly still. I said, okay, let's see you do this. Let's see you move that. And all of a sudden, the wrench literally starts back and forth, and it picked up speed. It picked up speed to almost where it was hitting the wall. I mean, it was moving 3 or 4 inches back and forth, like somebody was just moving it. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the hell? And we documented it on video. And then we picked up all kinds of audio EVPs of different entities in the house. Another thing, everybody asks me, have you ever had an encounter with an animal, a ghost animal? And this was the first time this had ever happened to me, so I didn't exactly know what to make of it. We were doing an EVP session in the living room. We actually had the client with us because we weren't getting much activity besides the wrench and seeing an apparition. And so we were letting him ask questions. And I look up and I see this black silhouette, and I couldn't understand what it was. I didn't know, I couldn't interpret what it was. And it was like bouncing around from person to person. And it was only about knee high. And all of a sudden it comes over to me. And I'm in shorts. And as I'm sitting there and I had my legs crossed in front of me, this thing comes up like a normal dog would do and puts its head in my lap. And I just feel like slobber on my leg, on my skin. I'm like, what the hell? So I, reached down and wiped my leg off, and it's wet, and it was dog slobber, but there was no dog there. And so I'm like, "Did you used to have a dog?" He's like, "Yeah, the dog died in the house." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, "Oh, okay." So yes, I have had an encounter with an animal, a ghost animal. But yeah, so that was our first case. As we went, we started picking up more cases. We, like I said, we were a TAPS family member team. We did some work, basically investigating places before Jason and Grant went in a couple of times, which was really cool. Um, we had contacts with the TAPS family member team and TAPS itself. In fact, I think I don't remember how long ago this was. It must have been at least 20 years ago. I got a call from this lady named Amy Bruni. And if you don't know who she is, she was on the TAPS family member team, or she was part of TAPS, the original team, for a long period of time. And then she split off, and now she's on Kindred Spirits with that other gentleman. I forget his name, but yeah, she's a super nice lady. Really cool. Very, very nice. She's like, I got a case for you. I'm like, oh. So this is like our third case. And then after that, we basically started picking up cases left and right. This is when I ran the California Ghost Hunters. I ran the California Ghost Hunters for close to 30, no, 10, 15 years. It, it started out as the California Lake Forest Ghost Hunters, and it was basically just, I think, the first 6 years of our existence. We essentially just bounced around from place to place. We didn't have any gear, and we just went to try and have experiences. Like at the Queen Mary, the Whaley House. We went to a lot of places up in Los Angeles. Anything that was said to be haunted, we went and checked it out. And so, like I was saying, we were at a party one time, and I think it was for Christmas. And Ghost Hunters came on the TV, and everybody's like, "Matt, that's you. You need to form a team and start helping people." And that's basically where that came to. I apologize. The crazy robot vacuum is deciding to vacuum the hallway as I started doing this. It was in the way in the other side of the house when I first started, but it's like following me around. Anyways, so yeah, definitely had a lot of cases. We did. God, we got to the point where we are doing like 6 or 8 cases a month. I mean, yeah, a month. We were we had, I don't know, 3 or 4 DVR systems with 6 to 20 cameras each, and you've seen the show where all the wiring going everywhere. That was us. We had wires. We did theaters. We did all kinds of places. And I'll tell you what, those wires suck, because you really do have to basically tape them down most of the way to make sure that, number one, they don't come up and trip you, but number two, they get disconnected real easy. So thank God for technology. Now we have Wi-Fi, so we can connect a camera and go from there. Here comes that poltergeist vacuum again. So yeah, that's basically where we started, and basically I hope that answers your questions. If you guys have any further questions, let me know. We always like to get questions from you guys. You can either leave a comment on our YouTube channel, our TikTok channel, or contact us, Deepwoods Paranormal. Excuse me, deepwoodsparanormal@gmail.com. You can message me or text me 979-250-0072. That is my personal cell, and I don't really care. My phone number's all over the internet, Facebook, and all the social media has it. Our website, unfortunately, this is why everything's late this week. Our website went down last Friday, and the company that hosts it said, "Oh, well, we can fix it, but it's going to be X amount of money." And I just went, I was like, "No, that's okay. We'll just leave it down. We'll find another host to find it, to basically put it somewhere else." But so if you're looking for our website, unfortunately, right now it's down, it's crashed. Nothing, you can get to it, but it doesn't really do anything. Um, so at this point in time, we're going to be finding a new host. We're with the Deep Woods Productions company that we started. I think a lot of stuff. We might just have one website with Deep Woods Productions, and then basically have the paranormal stuff there on that channel as well, on that website as well. So that's in the process of getting done. The company that we are working with to help us set up the business is helping us with the internet. I'm sorry, with the website now. They're looking into different ways that we can set this up and stuff like that, because it seems like it's ridiculous to try and find anywhere that will host the podcast, the YouTube channel, and everything else we want to have on there. So, of course, we have Audible too, where you can go back and listen to a lot of the old EVPs we got from different locations. But, anyways, guys, I don't want to keep rambling on. Maybe we'll see you at the OP Pyle House next Saturday. If not, please make sure you tune in to our Facebook account. It's Deep Woods Paranormal. Our YouTube channel, Deep Woods Paranormal, and our TikTok channel, Deep Woods Paranormal. Just type in Deep Woods Paranormal, we should come up. And then basically you can just look for our live. So, okay, guys. We'll talk to you guys later.